See this right here?
Stand right here, okay?
As soon as you're done with this, we're just going to set them down. There's
keep warming.
2 white lines.
Oh yeah, I got them. I got them.
That's it.
WIC provides healthy food at no cost and nutrition education,
To help keep women, infants, and children under 5
healthy and strong.
We have 3 little boys who are the joys of our life, and we opted for Monisha to stay at home with our children, which was a great alternative to daycare.
We were going to have an ultrasound to find out if are we having a boy or a girl, and well, there's 2 in there. First I thought, how am I going to do this?
So I was actually introduced to the WIC program by my wife. She researched it and found out about it. I had no knowledge of it. I just know that budgets were tight. All the supplements from the WIC program has tremendously helped our family.
They give you information on basically on nutrition. I have to watch out for my nutrition because I'm feeding them everything that I'm eating, so I have to make sure that all of us are healthy. I knew that I was giving my babies the best that they needed.
As a WIC participant, you can qualify to receive a variety of nutritious foods from your WIC authorized grocery store at no cost to you. There are a few things you'll want to remember before you head out to the store.
You definitely want to remember your WIC checks.
and your WIC approved foods booklet.
So here's what your WIC checks look like. As a WIC participant, you may receive 2 different types of checks. One will be for regular WIC-approved foods, and the other is specifically for purchasing fruits and vegetables. First, let's talk about the regular WIC checks.
While I was pregnant, I would go pick up my checks once a month. Probably takes about 15 minutes.
Would you say it's like, what, 15, 20 minutes when you go into the office to pick up the checks, or
I would say it's about 15 minutes.
about 15, 20 minutes? You don't have to use all the checks at once.
No.
I mean, you can pick and choose which checks you need to use as long as they're used by the expiration date.
Right.
That is just one thing that you need to make sure, like, honestly, I put it on my calendar that this is the last day that we can use the checks.
WIC checks can only be picked up in person from your local WIC clinic. Your checks are only good for 30 days, so be sure to check the dates. You'll see a list of foods that you're authorized to buy printed right here on your regular WIC checks.
We have it on our grocery list. Like, we know, like, oh, we're going to get milk, we're going to get cereal,
Brown rice.
whole wheat bread.
Peanut butter, and that's just to name a few.
The variety, it's what's good for you is what's the most important part.
Every family has different needs, so each family's set of WIC checks will have a different list of foods printed right here. Carefully review the food amounts you qualify for. This check allows the participant to receive 36 ounces of cereal. So when I'm in the cereal aisle, I should first find the type of cereal that is WIC approved. You can look in your WIC booklet for help with that. Also, most stores use shelf labels that look like this, that will be posted next to foods that are WIC approved. Then I look at the size. I can choose a box or bag of cereal that is smaller than 36 ounces, but not bigger. I can also get a combination of sizes that adds up to, but not over 36 ounces. And that's it. That's all you really need to know about your regular WIC checks. Now, let's talk about the fruit and vegetable checks.
I guess the benefit of fresh fruits and vegetables now is we get to try a lot more. And they're coming around with liking them.
Slowly but surely, but they are.
My boys like everything that I've given them. Like, we started off with squash, and they love that, and carrots.
The fresh fruits, you know, it's almost like a no-brainer that that's going to help benefit a family.
These checks are great. My family loves eating fresh fruits and vegetables. They are handled a little differently than regular WIC checks, so let's make sure you know the differences between the two. The major difference is that there's already a specific dollar amount printed on the check. You can only buy fruits and vegetables up to this maximum amount on your check. If you want to buy more fruits and vegetables, you can, but just put those with your other non-WIC purchases. You can't go over the amount on the check. Also, while you can purchase nearly any fresh fruit or vegetable, you can't purchase the following with your WIC fruit and vegetable check: herbs, spices, edible flowers, party trays, and dehydrated fruits, fruit leathers, or fruit roll-ups. None of these are allowed. It might help to prepare a budget specifically for fresh produce. You need to keep in mind the total dollar amount of your check. This will help you determine how many fruits and vegetables you can buy. Maybe you'll use the entire check to get the strawberries your child loves. Or maybe you'll buy a variety, some carrots, peppers, and bananas. It's up to you. Remember, it's always best to choose fruits and vegetables that are in season. You'll get more for your dollar and they'll taste better. Now, we need to get technical for a minute. In order to figure out the price of each fruit or vegetable, you need to see if they are sold per pound or priced per item. You really need to make sure and verify which one it is. Most fruits and vegetables are going to be sold by the pound. For example, these apples are 99 cents per pound. Looks like I have 2 pounds of apples. I need to multiply 2 by 99 cents. Let's keep it easy and round 99 cents to $1. So 2 pounds of apples at $1 a pound equals $2. I've used $2 of my WIC fruit and vegetable check. This cabbage is $1.49 per pound. It weighs 2.5 pounds. I need to multiply 2.5 by $1.49. Again, we'll round it up to $1.50. So a 2.5 pound cabbage at $1.50 a pound equals $3.75. Adding it to my $2 of apples, I've now used $5.75 of my WIC check. Now don't worry, this takes a little getting used to. Now that we have learned about the checks, let's talk about the WIC Approved Foods booklet. This booklet is a very useful tool to help you quickly identify food items that are WIC approved. It's a good idea to always bring it with you when you're shopping.
Before I go to the store, I'll look through and see exactly what I want.
I actually keep my brochure in my folder. The brochure does come in handy, if you look at your check and you're kind of confused about what do they mean, you can always resort to that.
Exactly. Look at all the cereal you can get right here.
I like to just know exactly what I'm getting before I go to the store, so I'll look and see what kind of cereal I want, or just note that I'm going to get eggs this time, and I just put it all on my list before we go, and then when we go to the store, then we're just ready. We can just pick it out.
WIC has included foods in its program that follow healthy dietary guidelines, support breastfeeding mothers, and help children maintain healthy weights. You'll notice some of your WIC-approved foods will specify store brands only. It's also good to know that if you choose to buy store brand foods over name brand, you save the program money and help ensure that WIC can continue to offer free, nutritious foods to other families.
Most of the time when I go to the grocery store, I have other things to get, as well as what's on our WIC voucher. When you get to the register, you want to separate those goods out.
Sometimes we'll use 2 checks when we go to the store, and I just make sure that we put all of the stuff that's on one check together and then separate it, and we just put the checks right on top so that they know oh, this is WIC stuff before they start ringing it up.
Like this one here is the juice, the bread, the peanut butter, and the milk. You would have one of these to the cashier. We have juice, cereal, rice, milk, and eggs. You would separate them out for the cashier.
When I'm at the store, sometimes I'll look at the check to make sure that, is it 36 ounces of cereal, or how many units of juice do I get?
There's certain things that I know that you have to look out for, especially reading the labels and making sure that you have the right product in its right weight. Another thing I would suggest highly is to pick a favorite store, because every store has it set up differently. So you might see clear labels at one store, you go to a different store, it might not be marked as well. So that's another thing to key in on, especially when you're not as experienced.
Definitely. That's good.
Keep your brochure with you, your checks, you're good to go.
When I'm shopping, I always try and keep my WIC foods separate from the rest of my food. It makes it that much easier, and when I check out, believe me, the cashiers will appreciate it. It's all about making it as simple as possible. If you receive a WIC fruit and vegetable check, in addition to a regular WIC check, it might be a good idea to have those separated from everything else too. Again, make it simple for yourself. So now that you have your check, you have your booklet, and you've gone shopping and selected all your WIC food, what do you do once you get to the checkout lane? First, just start by telling the cashier that you'll be using your WIC check today. That will immediately let them know how to proceed. Then hand them your WIC check so they can verify that the foods you're purchasing are the same foods listed on your check. Go ahead and put just your WIC purchases for that WIC check on the conveyor belt or counter first. This is important so you don't confuse the cashier with any separate purchases that you may need to make after your WIC purchase. Once they've scanned in all the items, they'll fill in the amount in the total amount box. The cashier will then need you to sign the check. Once you do, hand it back, and then it's all done. Transaction complete. Just remember these key points. Tell the cashier that you'll be using your WIC checks today. Hand the cashier your check so they can make sure all the items you've selected match what's on your check. After they fill in the amount total box, they'll hand the check back to you. Make sure the total amount looks correct. Sign the check and give it to them again to finish your purchase. Alright, that's how the checkout process goes. Now, there may be a few situations where it doesn't go exactly as easy as that.
There was one time where I was checking out and I ended up grabbing the wrong box.
In the event that you don't have the right item, they'll let you know.
They were perfectly fine with that. They were just like, I'm sorry, but this isn't WIC approved, because the register lets you know that it's not WIC approved.
So even if it is your first time, your cashiers can help.
You have help, yes.
If you pick out foods that aren't WIC approved, you're going to run into some problems. Don't try and insist that the items you've picked are correct, or that it's okay to swap out other foods if they're not the ones listed on your check. There isn't anything the cashier can do except give you the option to replace the items with what's on your check. If you are doing this repeatedly, then there may be consequences, including your removal from the WIC program, and nobody wants that to happen. Remember, the cashiers are there to help you as well. They've been trained to handle WIC transactions, so if you have any questions or run into any problems, that's what they're there for.
I appreciate WIC for helping with nutrition and providing all of the healthy foods for me and my boys and, our family.
It was a godsend to our family, basically.
I love it because it helps out financially, and you just never really would even realize how much you save.
I can't tell you how great it's been being a part of WIC. It's helped us out so much, and I know it'll help you out too. That's what it's there for. Good job. High five. Yay! Good job. Can you give me a high five? Yeah!